City Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Tindem. Here. Alderman Ravel. Here. Alderman Rainey. Here. Alderman Miller. Here. Alderman Fisk. Here. Alderman Braithwaite. Here. Alderman Alderman Nguyen. Here. Alderman Wilson. Here. Alderman Holmes. Here. 9-0.
We have a quorum. Welcome to the Monday, October 10th, 2016 meeting of the Evanston City Council. First item on the agenda is Mayor's public announcements and proclamations. It's National Community Planning Month, and it's also National Fire Prevention Week. Mr. Scott, do you want to speak to that? What is it, Deputy? Deputy Chief Scott. Sorry about that.
That's quite okay. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, City Manager Bobkowitz, I am Deputy Chief Brian Scott, and I'm pleased to announce some of the initiatives that the Evanston Fire Department will be undertaking this week, Fire Prevention Week 2016. It actually started last Saturday, where the Evanston Fire Department, in cooperation with the Home Depot at 2201 Oakton, did some live fire safety demonstrations in which we actually fabricated 2 rooms on site in the parking lot of Home Depot. And one room had a single sprinkler head. Fire companies set the rooms ablaze, and the audience was able to see just how effective a single head can be in controlling a room and contents fire. Companies then put both rooms out, and then they made themselves available for questions from the audience. Moving forward, additionally, all this week, fire companies will be giving life safety education plans through all the primary schools in the city of Evanston. Our focus educationally will be in alignment with the NFPA's theme for this year, which is don't wait, check the date. So we'll focus on installing smoke detectors, making sure that they have the proper batteries, as well as emphasizing the importance of home escape plans in residences. To kind of cap things off, at the end, this Sunday on the 16th, we'll be holding our annual Fire Prevention Open House. That's going to be at Fire Station number 2, 702 Madison. This is a great community event. There's something to do for all residents of all ages. So we're going to have lots of activities, games, food, refreshments. We'll have a lot of fire safety demonstrations, as well as allowing people to meet firefighters, and they'll have the ability to watch firefighters actually perform live auto extrications and technical rescue types of scenarios as well. One new feature is that we're going to try something called the Children's Firefighter Challenge. So what we've got is we purchased some miniature firefighter gear and uniforms, and the children will get to participate in simulated firefighter exercises in kind of a competition. So we're looking forward to that. Just in closing, I just want to kind of reiterate to you guys that we take seriously proactive and comprehensive life safety education for the citizens of Evanston. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
You didn't mention you put out a fire today.
Unfortunately, we did have a fire in the city at 835 Sherman Avenue. Fortunately, no significant injuries to civilians or firefighters. We had a 1-unit and a 3-unit row house of townhomes there, and we were able to contain it to the single unit. But unfortunately, there was significant damage to that unit. So companies from Evanston and some of the surrounding communities did an admirable job, and we're still working on the scene at this time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for putting out the fire. City Manager, do you have announcements?
I do not, Madam Mayor.
And City Clerk, do you have communications?
No, not at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next is public comment. The first 2 speakers are Mr. Riske and Betty Sue Esther.
Well, I'm going to change what I was going to say. Just to say, I'm having some fun again. I'm starting my cartoons up again, for some of you that remember them. Ponzi and Friends in Evanston. Tonight I made a cartoon about what I consider an excessive pay increase. Alderman Miller voted against it, Alderman Braithwaite and AP&W. Mr. Bobkowitz is going to get a 6.5% pay increase. What are the other city employees getting here? 2%, and I think that's important for equity of other employees, that those match. And I think I'll move on. recently it was stated that I'm the only citizen complaining about the water department. Well, it's true. I am probably the only one of the few. Most people don't. I don't pay a lot in water rates. It's not like it's breaking my budget in any way or shape or form. But what I do not like, and I keep repeating this, is the city has no handle on this huge budget, and it's wasting money. And the poor in this town and people that don't have a lot of money are overpaying. And it appears to me that they will be overpaying more to pay for that tank at Northwestern because, once again, we're not doing the things right. Because if the water rates were decreasing, the storm sewer rates, the rates are decreasing on the sewers, the taxpayers should benefit by this, but they're not. It's just grab more money for our pet projects. Well, that's fine. The taxpayers someday will realize that, and maybe a few more people will come. I don't know. So I find that rather disturbing. And, there's another question here that I'm becoming concerned about, too. It's really the behavior of some people here in the council. It's recently come to my attention in this next election, one of the candidates basically has a position on a for-profit that does business with the city. And I'm very interested in that and why it's going to, if this individual does get elected, how the law department will handle that. As I stated in the past, I have concerns when people have ethical questions. And I sort of at one point sort of brushed off when I raised a question about another alderman and their connection with their employer and voting on something. I find this disturbing. And the other thing that I find disturbing here is what I call a lot of double talk about this issue at James Park. Because we were told one thing and we're being told another thing. We go to court and we're suing somebody for contamination, as Mr. Bobkowitz actually said in AP&W, he quoted him contamination. But we're telling the public the water's safe. So what's going on here? And I asked this question during the budget hearing, how much money we've spent on this. And I've heard over $1 million. Well, what are we doing and why? Nobody seems to know what's going on, and it's really interesting. The public ought to be concerned because that's $1 million of money, and it might be frivolously wasted, and I don't understand it. So it is very interesting. And finally, during the city budget workshop, I asked a question about Robert Crown. And again, I'm going to say to the council, you have no staff member running that project. You have a $30 million project with no staff member running it. You need to hire somebody, not an equity position or coordinator, what all these silly positions are, to actually run a project.
Mr. Riske, you need to wrap up.
I will wrap it up, but you need to figure out where the money needs to go and not on silly political nonsense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Betty Esther. No, I don't complain about the water bill like Mr. Riske. I don't understand it. I went to a meeting with Mr. Stombeck. He went through it and everything. I had it, understood it, explained, and then all of a sudden we went to selling the water and no money was coming in and it got lost. And I say, you talk, I'll listen, and I'll agree with you. So when you want to talk about the water, I'll stand up with you. But one thing from the Human Service Committee has been meeting and has been talking about the report and study that Dr. Logan did with the police department. I read the summary. They are taking into the account some of the recommendations that they're going to be moving forward and continuing talking about this. There was a town hall meeting, a meeting that was held where people from the same ward sat around one table. Everybody was separated around one table. No togetherness, no diversity in the conversation. A lot of questions was raised and things was raised, no issues. That has not been taken back to the public. We had asked, I met with Mr. Bachowitz and Chief Editon, Carlos and myself, and we had asked and gave a layout of how to help this and move this forward in helping the community to understand how and what the police department is doing. I won't go into that, but I got an email and I said, hey, that's your opinion. But before you go ahead with this, I think you do need to have some kind of open meeting and information out there in the public, not just at the Human Service meeting. The Human Service meeting at 6 o'clock, I can make it sometime. I'm retired, but sometime I'm downtown Chicago or someplace else. When you have people that are working and trying to get to these meetings and they look at, feed my kid, I go to the meeting. Forget your meeting, I'm going home. So they are not getting it. So we need to be having meetings with the community. The community, it need to be involved in this. You talk about the community need to be educated on the law. That I disagree with. What it need to be, everybody need to be acquainted with the law. At the last Human Service meeting, there was a young lady got up and spoke, and then Priscilla Giles, she got up and spoke about the same issue that happened to her 20 years ago. And she is still feeling the pain and agony of every time she hears someone going through something like that. To have DCF invade your home, you are not a fit mother, you abuse your kids and stuff. Whether it traumatizes to her is bad. Her kids, whether they was traumatized or not, there is some effect that she feel that her grandchild is feeling from that. So that education, the police officer reacted, whether he knew the law
Ms.
or
Esther,
didn't know it.
I need you to wrap up.
Thank you. Whether he knew that it was 10 minutes, stand there and wait. The whole thing, when he got told, it was hard to believe. So on whose part, who did what, we don't know. But things like that just can't get up and be said and nothing follow up to clarify and make sure that everybody understands this is what happened and nobody really was at fault. The policeman didn't do wrong.
Ms. Esther, I
and
really
stuff.
need you to wrap up, please.
Thank you. So, but we do need that meeting with about Dr. Logan's thing.
Thank you. Mr. Young? I think he left and went home. All right. That concludes citizen comment. Alderman Rainey, could we have the consent agenda, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting, September 26. We request your approval. Administration Public Works Committee met this evening. We ask your approval for the payroll through the 18th of September, $2,867,625.63. The Evanston bills through the 11th of October, $4,659,714.20. Credit card activity through August 31, $197,953.89. We ask your approval for an agreement with the Youth Job Center of Evanston for building career pathways to sustainable employment program 2016 in an amount not to exceed $80,000. This is for a 2-year period, and costs are approximately $5,333 per participant. This is for action. Approval is requested for change order number 1 for Howard Street Traffic Signal and Street Resurfacing Project with Capital Cement Company. This is in the amount of $83,262.75, increasing the contract amount to $1,468,416.64. A change order number 1 is requested for various parking lot improvements, engineering services with Gawalt Hamilton Associates. This is for various parking lot improvements in the amount of $26,000. increasing the original contract price to $170,650. Funding for the work will come from the James Park West parking lot renovation, and it's primarily for the Levy Center parking lot. This is a request for topographic surveying engineering services with Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick, Inc., in the amount of $39,182.68, includes topographic survey and base drawing preparation of street segments program for water main improvements and of Chicago Avenue to support future roadway improvements. Contract for the 2016 Cured in Place Sewer Rehab Contract B with Visual Sewer of Illinois in the amount of $127,674.25, includes the rehabilitation of 2,577 feet of combined sewer main ranging in size from 8-inch diameter to 18-inch diameter at 15 different sites. Next is a 3-year contract. We're asking approval for office furniture supply with Forward Space is the name of the company, and a not-to-exceed yearly cost of $70,000. A single audit for fiscal year 2015. We heard a presentation this evening. This is for the not-for-profits that we fund. This is for action, and we're being asked to accept and place on file. January 1, 2016, Police and Firefighter Pension Actuarial Report. City staff and the Police and Firefighter Pension Board recommend the annual actuarial required contribution in the amount of $8,148,709 for the firefighters' pension fund and $10,237,200 for the police pension fund as part of the 2016 proposed budget. Staff is recommending an increase to the city tax levy of $800,000 or 2.1%. This is for action tonight. A4, which is Resolution 63R16, having to do with the Postal Service parking. We're being asked to hold this till the October 24th meeting, hold it in committee. And I guess it'll be addressed by the committee chair. Next is A5, Resolution 66R16, authorizing...
Please remove A5.
Yes, I'm sorry, Alderman Miller. This is off the consent agenda and will be addressed by the committee chair. Next is Ordinance 120-016, authorizing the sale of surplus fleet vehicles and equipment owned by the City of Evanston through public auction at a special Northwest Municipal Vehicle Auction being sponsored by America's Auto Auction on or about Tuesday, November 8, and or any other subsequent American online auction as these vehicles become available. That's for introduction. Also for introduction is Ordinance 127-016, dissolving the Howard Hartree Tax Increment Financing District. Madam Mayor, I more or less made a mistake. There was an amendment to...
I was going to call that out.
Yeah, the
on,
cured in place.
Item,
All right,
I'm not
that's
sure.
A
it was item
36.
3.2.
3.2, yeah, there need, the chair has to report the amendment to that one. It has to do with the financing. So I'm going to remove that from the consent agenda. Okay, all right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, that's
Okay,
fine.
all right.
Thank you, Alderman Rainey.
Yeah. All right, Madam Mayor has made several appointments this evening to the Arts Council. Beth Adler, to the Mental Health Board, Rebecca Filer, to the Mental Health Board, Jessica Sales, to the Environment Board from the Lad Arboretum Committee, Tom Klitsky, and to the Environment Board from the Lad Arboretum Committee, Wendy Pollack. Madam Mayor, that concludes the consent agenda, and I therefore move approval.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to pass the consent agenda. City Clerk, could you call the roll?
Alderman Tindem.
Here. Oh, aye.
Alderman Ravel. Alderman Rainey.
Aye.
Alderman Miller. Alderman Fisk. Alderman Brathwaite. Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Wilson. Alderman Holmes.
Aye.
9-0.
The consent agenda passes. Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to move item A3.2, change order number 1 for the Howard Street Traffic and Signal Street resurfacing project with the Capital Cement Company, Inc.
Are you moving it as amended, or?
Oh, I can move it as amended. I'll move it as amended. I'm assuming you want the amendment. So we
was
decided
835.
to take the 27,000.
No, that's the wrong one.
Am I not reading the right one? I'm sorry.
It's 3.5.
Can I try that again?
The $27,000.
I'd like to move item 3.5, the contract for the 2016 CIPP Sewer Rehabilitation Contract B with Visu Sewer of Illinois, LLC.
Second.
Moving it as amended.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded as amended, and seeing no lights on for discussion, City Clerk, would
Don't
you?
we have to say what was
Yeah, that's what I
amended?
wanted to,
Oh, okay.
we should read the amendment.
I thought you had, but I guess you did.
We're just removing the $27,000 from the $27,883 that was funded from the Howard Street TIF. My understanding is that those dollars are now going to come from our sewer fund.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Does anyone want to discuss it? City Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Tindem.
Aye.
Alderman Ravel. Alderman Rainey. Alderman Miller. Alderman Fisk. Alderman Brathwaite.
Aye.
Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Wilson. Alderman Holmes.
Aye.
The motion passes. Alderman Braithwaite.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A5, Resolution 66R-16, authorizing the mayor to enter into an amended and restated employment agreement with the city manager, Wally Bobkowitz.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Does anyone want to discuss this? All right, City Clerk, would you call the roll? What? Yeah, I don't care. Any way you want to do it.
Okay. Mayor Tisdall.
Aye.
Alderman Tindem.
Aye.
Alderman Ravel. Alderman Rainey.
Aye.
Alderman Miller.
No.
Alderman Fisk. Alderman Brathwaite. Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Wilson. Alderman Holmes.
Aye.
9-3.
The motion passes. Alderman Braithwaite, does that complete your report?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
8-2.
What's that? Alderman Rainey?
You don't have to say about the post office lease.
No, that was held in committee.
All right, and Alderman Wilson, you have nothing from P&D, and that's it. Congratulations, everybody. We might get to see the Cubs game.
Made up time.
Don't have the budget?
Do we have executive session?
No.
Definitely made up time.
Oh, I'm going to do
No,
that.
Alderman Wilson.
Alderman Tandem, call of the wards.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There will be a sixth ward meeting on October 20th, 7 p.m. That's a Thursday evening at Three Crowns Center. There'll be presentations by both school board presidents, Candace Parks Chow and Pat Savage Williams. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Ravel.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to be having a special ward meeting on Tuesday, October 25th, to bring the community up to date on plans at Canal Shores Golf Course, and then also to hear about a request for a roadway easement north of Isabella on MWRD land between the CTA tracks and the Canal Shores Golf Course. That's going to be at 7 p.m. in the Parasol Room here at Civic Center.
Thank you. Alderman Rainey.
If anyone in South Evanston would like to have a soccer pitch, would they please get in touch? We have a couple of extras that need a home for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you. Who's next? Oh, Brian, sorry.
No report.
Alderman Fisk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's a special first ward meeting on October 18th. That's Tuesday. It's going to be in the Parasol Room to discuss benchmarking, right.
Thank you.
There's another meeting, too, and I totally,
Thank you.
but I don't need to announce that tonight. Thank you.
Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Inviting all the residents of the Second Ward to come out this Thursday for our regularly scheduled Second Ward meeting. It's going to be Thursday, October 13th, held at the District 65 building, meeting to begin at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Nguyen. Thank you, Alderman Wilson. Thank you, and Alderman Holmes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Next Thursday, October 20th, will be the regular Fifth Ward meeting at Fleetwood and Jourdain. And for those who might be interested in having some budget information, Director Lyons and Ms. King will be there as the staff to go over the budget. So everyone is invited to come out if they want to come at that time. And then, Madam Mayor, I very seldom respond to anything that's been said, but I think that we as aldermen and mayor are elected to represent the people, and therefore when a comment is made about the city manager being their employee, I think that we as the alderman try to represent at least I know I do, every resident in my ward, so that we have a whole process that happens, evaluations, all of that. So it's just not deciding just to give the city manager an increase. There's a whole process that happens with that, and I think that each one of us takes that very seriously and works very hard to make sure that we are representing the views of the majority of our wards and of the city of Evanston. So I just want to say that because that left a bad taste in my mouth tonight.
Thank you very much. All right, that concludes Call of the Wards. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it.